Hi, this is Colin from Northwest Cadence. In this module, you'll learn a little bit about release management. So far, we've created a build that can produce a WAR package, which is the binary for our website. In order to deploy that to a Tomcat server, we're going to need to install a Tomcat task. We can install extra tasks and other extensions through the marketplace. If we click on the little shopping bag icon in the top right, we can select Browse Marketplace. That will take you to the Visual Studio Marketplace. I've just searched for Tomcat to bring up the Tomcat extension. Once you've found an extension that you want to install, click the Install button and it will install it onto your account. I've already done this. Let's go back to our release definition. I've clicked on Release in the toolbar to get to the Release Hub, and then clicked the plus button here to create a new release. Into this release, I've then added a single task, the Deploy Application to Tomcat Server task. If we look at the settings, I'm setting the Tomcat Server URL, the username and password. The password here is a variable, which I'll show you how to set shortly. And then we've browsed to the WAR file. The WAR file comes from our build output. If we come across to artifacts, we'll see that this particular release is linked to the Maven build, meaning that any artifacts produced by that build are available as artifacts for this release. We can link to other artifact sources here. If we open up the options for the environment, we can select Configure Variables. Here you'll see I've got a single variable called admin pwd, and the value is a masked out value. This is the password for the user that we need to supply to the Tomcat task. If we go over to queue, you can see that we're deploying onto the Colin queue, which is the queue where my local build agent is registered. On the Approvals tab, we can set up approvals before and after each environment that we add to this particular release. Let's add a post-deployment approval, and I'll select myself, and we'll select OK. Finally, let's have a quick look at the triggers. There are a number of triggers that we can set, including manual, scheduled, or continuous deployment. Continuous deployment will listen for new builds available from the linked builds. As soon as a new build becomes available, the release is created and triggered. We'll leave it as manual for now. Just before we create a new release, let's go and look at what the MyShuttle site looks like currently. Here I've opened up port 8080/MyShuttleDev, and you can see it's the unstyled page. The changes we've made in the code base add styling and branding to this. So after the release, we should see a nicely branded site. Let's go and create a release. We'll select the latest build that's available. We can optionally put in a release description if we want to. And we'll leave the automated deployment to start the deployment as soon as we create this release. You can see release 1 has been created. If we click on release 1, we'll get taken to the summary page for this release. Let's click on the logs to view the logs in real time. The agent has completed deploying. You can see that there's a post-deployment approval now pending for the dev environment. Let's go and do that approval by first checking that the site was deployed correctly. As you can see, the site has been deployed correctly, and we now have our branded site. Let's go back to the release and approve it. We'll type in some comments and click Approve. If there were further environments in this release, the next environment would now be triggered.